Looking at a lifestyle, number 2. Being green is more than just buying eco. It is an unshakable commitment to a sustainable lifestyle. Jennifer Nini. In the first essay in this series, I described how I came to try to live with the behavior and consumption equivalent to the productive capacity of one Earth, the one and only Earth that we have. The one Earth calculation based on the ecological footprint metric. This important accounting measure needs to be better and more generally understood. Please, look up the ecological footprint website online. It should be on every concerned person's reading list. The following very brief recap doesn't do justice. The ecological footprint work is a serious and exhaustive accounting research project developed from the most respected and reviewed information sources available. It details the human use of the Earth's resources and of the Earth's productive capacity. The effort began in 1991 with the simple researchable question, how much do people take compared to what the Earth can renew? The effort has been added to and refined progressively, always inviting criticism and responding with continual improvements in methods of analysis and data collection. It must be clearly noted that the comparisons of the human use of the Earth's resources and the capacity of the Earth's production and restoration measured and reported by the ecological footprint research are very conservative and leave out, because of lack of fully verifiable data, potential human interventions in the environment and ongoing losses to Earth's production and restoration potential. The errors in footprint comparisons are almost certainly in the direction of showing less actual human use and impact than is occurring. The ecological footprint evaluation has two primary uses. As a policy tool for government and business, by those governments and businesses that are concerned for the longevity of life on Earth. Shockingly, it seems some do not. And the personal evaluation as an educational tool to inform the public about the needed changes in lifestyle, if the human use of the Earth's resources are to return to sustainable levels. It is this second, apparently more aspirational use of the footprint evaluation that I deal with here. One thing that makes the individual evaluation tool disconcerting is that essentially no one will discover that they are using the Earth's resources at a sustainable level. It can be reasonably assumed that everyone will find that they are using 3, 4, 8, or 10 Earths worth of productivity for their lifestyle if everyone on the Earth lived as they do. And that even with this information, few have any intention of changing the fundamentals of their lifestyle to reduce their impact. Recycle, yes. Install water-saving shower heads, yes. Consider or actually purchase an electric car, yes. Attempt to buy more locally produced foods, yes. And a variety of other environmental friendly actions, yes. But deeply substantive changes, no. There are good reasons for this that need to be made clear. First, it would be devastatingly disruptive of present economic systems, social systems, and individual lives if a substantial part of the population quickly and seriously reduced their footprint. Second, it would only make sense to most people and to the planet if almost everyone did it. And third, the biggest abusers of the Earth's resources are not individuals, or not individuals in the ordinary sense. What follows is a look at various common lifestyles and the ecological footprints generated by the online tool. Here are the questions the online tool asks, given in a cursory form. Consumption of animal origin foods, consumption of local foods, house type and energy efficiency, house size and numbers of people, source of electricity, garbage amounts, use of cars and other personal vehicles, use of public transportation, and finally, the frequency of air travel. The summing together responses to these questions have been shown to correlate well with overall use of the Earth's resources. The default answers, not necessarily the most common, but common enough, result in the use of 3.2 Earths, if everyone lived this lifestyle. A generally mode median non-city lifestyle, income 50 to 70,000 per year, 3 people in a small to medium-sized freestanding house, with little effort to act on ecological concerns, gives a use of 4.8 Earths. A city mode median lifestyle for apartment dwellers with essentially the same behaviors as the non-city lifestyle gives a use of 4.2 Earths. A solidly middle-class, upper-middle-class lifestyle with little ecological concern, larger house, 3 people, 150,000 or more income, more travel, essentially more of many consumables, gives a use of about 10 Earths or more. The tool fails to be able to properly evaluate higher incomes beyond the middle classes. People and collectives of people with vastly greater use of resources no longer are describable by this measure. Other measures than the online tool are needed for people who fly regularly in private jets, have multiple houses, apartments and yachts with staff to maintain them, fleets of autos and trucks, and unlimited budgets for toys, travel, foods, and entertainment. But what about those people in the general population in the U.S. who are making a serious effort to reduce their impact on Earth's resources? A mode median non-city household of 3 people living in the same sized house as above with the same income can, with effort, reduce their footprint to 2 Earths. A mode median apartment dwelling household of 3 people with even a little more serious effort can reduce their footprint to 1.7 Earths, the world average. The obvious question is, what has to be done to reduce the footprint? In short, all the measures of consumption must be lower. Very little garbage, a measure of general consumption. Minimal air travel, 6 hours or less a year. Minimal auto, 50 miles or less a week in a high-mileage car, averaged over the year. Frequent public transportation use, little or no animal origin foods, about 70% or more of food from local sources. Increasing the energy efficiency of the smallest functional home, renewably sourced energy, electricity. And still, the ecological footprint is most often going to be between 2 and 3 Earths, even with effort to reduce the environmental impact. Obviously, to get the whole population to an average consumption of 1 Earth would require even less consumption and energy use by all levels of society. The current public argument is for the burden to be on the great many, whose use exceeds the Earth's productive capacities by 2, 4, or 6 Earths, not on the tens or several tens of Earths of the most profligate. At this time, there is no plan in general circulation for how to reach the needed reductions in total human impact on Earth's systems. Even without a plan, it seems clear that major restructuring of the Earth's economic systems would be required. There is no major economic system or socially valued expectations for how to live that aren't based on economic growth and increasing consumption. Even so, getting to 1 Earth must not be considered only an aspirational goal. There is no alternative but for the human global consumption of the Earth's productivity to be less than that productivity. This is a concept so simple that 7-year-olds can grasp it, based on Piaget's stages of development. And as noted, the present world average is 1.6 to 1.7 Earths. The questions are then, what will the needed changes in the economic and social structures be based on economic equity and social justice? Will the needed changes force all or almost all deprivation onto the weakest and most vulnerable? Will action on these issues be ignored and put off until the failure of Earth's productive systems so limit human life and activities that humans are forced to take less from the remaining productive capacity? It is fairly clear that an economically powerful segment of humanity is moving in the direction of setting up conditions that will place the greatest burden on the weakest and most vulnerable, even to make more of the world's people vulnerable by increasingly marginalizing them. While not fully offering an argument against that approach to our dilemmas, it is almost certain that the result would be to exacerbate all of our challenges and prevent effective responses to social, economic, and environmental crises. As far from the possible as it may seem, one line of rational reasoning offers the conclusion that only a worldwide general response that addresses the three overwhelming issues, economic inequity, the lack of social justice, and environmental degradation, would have a chance to avoid the variety of conflagrations facing us. We humans have been very good at adapting to our destructiveness, most often calling it progress. But be clear, damaging ecological relationships and the Earth's biophysical systems is destructiveness. We adapt to the untidiness we have already put into place with incredible inventiveness. Now is the time to find a further capacity, pre-adaptation, adapting as whole societies to most likely futures. We haven't been good at that, and now we must, because failure to limit our damaging actions and failure to prepare our whole social and economic systems for that future will almost certainly deny us a future altogether. The use of the ecological footprint tool and the result that vast numbers of us are using more of the Earth's capacity than can be renewed must inform us of the need for action on the real issues, not just on our consumption. The economic and social systems in place make living at one Earth consumption effectively impossible for many of the Earth's higher consuming populations. And while we should try to reduce our consumption, that effort needs to go hand in hand with developing new models for social and economic life that more closely align with ecological realities and with the activism to give these efforts and us a chance.